or kill the motherfucking moon, if you want to call it that way. Or as I. There's also terrible science in there, which has annoyed which made a friend and fellow film former who. It's like um, the support one of the supporting characters played by Hermione Norris. Apparently, she says the Earth, what happens in the future in 2049, the year when this is set. Actually, I'll back up a bit. I'll come back to that. Actually, I'll cut that bit. So and not only that, is it heck, Red Dwarf did it several years earlier, about a decade or two earlier. So I guess people just don't watch the web. Um, but it's not. But at least that Duke is apparently somehow important to Tamsin, not Tamsin Oliver. That's Hetman Silver. And that's So that's killed. This episode must have been the one that Stephen Moffat or whoever. As for Clara, and I mean, fair enough. She didn't know that the Earth plus the Moon. And the twist is terrible. The Earth being the Moon, fuck's sake, and the twist of the Moon egg being first colony elsewhere in space, in colony in space. Actually, was that the first colony? It might have been another. Although, would that be the same moon base? Then again, if it wasn't for this episode, we could have assumed that that was the same moon base as the one from the Sarah Jane Adventures story, Death of the Doctor in 2010, which Liz Shaw was mentioned to have gone up to. However, as it's a different moon, then perhaps they're two separate moon bases. That being said, we didn't find the moon base in this episode. Well, maybe the Mexican bits that they visited, but I thought that was more of a spaceship or their own mini hub, not a proper moon base. It's the only kind of the natural. So the new moon. I mean, the Doctor's all right in places, but apart from that, sometimes. And just absolutely terrible. There are a few. I will say the location filming in Lanzarote, the first, as well as filming in places on the island, which were also set. But besides those, but yeah, so even though the terrible was awful, absolutely. But it's still the worst episode of the new series at this point. As of Series 1 to Series 8, Episode 7, it's the worst one. After Return of the Doctor, it's the second worst one. Yeah. But but it's still the worst episode. But it must have been deliberately bad. But the story must have been a deliberately bad one in order to get. But you can't. I was kind of. I didn't even feel relieved when watching the next episode until we got further into it. Even when we. Welcome to my Kilda room. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Well, here we are, people. Well, looks like we're on another. Well, people, it looks like we're doing. Well, people, it looks like we're doing another. Well, people, it looks like my friends at the Universals were right. This is a terrible episode. Time for another rant. Well, people, I guess my friends at the Universals were right. This is a terrible episode. So, enjoy. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the Nicholas Payne bonus content YouTube channel.